Hey guys, I'm back with another samosa video, and today we're gonna make a deep fried aloo or potato samosa. One of my all-time favorites, one of my most addictive, most delicious street side snack to have. You can't go wrong with a samosa. Well, let's see how to make this perfect at home. So you might have heard some merch is out. It's a simple t-shirt. We're gonna do some hoodies really soon and a simple live to cook design. If you want to support this channel, be sure to check it out and I'll put those links down below. Now, samosa is such an integral part of my childhood because growing up, one of our all-time favorite breakfasts was to gather as a family and have samosa and jalebi hot, the first batch or second batch of the day for breakfast, and that combination is it's amazing. You can't go wrong with it. The aroma just wakes you up from any slumber that you might be, and that was one of the only times where I woke up on time. So we'll get started with the potatoes. I've steamed mine in my Instant Pot. I'll link that recipe down below, or you can even boil it on the stovetop or make it in the microwave. The microwave, be careful, it does tend to dry out the potato, so I would stay away from that if I can avoid it. Now in my pan here, I'm heating up some ghee along with some cumin seeds. Just let that get nicely toasted, reddish brown, and then add in ginger garlic and green chilies, and then just let that become nice and aromatic. Stir that for a few minutes, and then we'll dry roast our spices. So it's a long list, so keep up. It's some ground coriander, ground cumin, red chili powder, ground fennel, garam masala, mango powder or amchur. You want to make sure that the heat is not too high at this point because we don't want to burn those spices. So just turn the heat down and just stir that until it starts to smell kind of strong. It starts to give off its fragrance, its flavor. Roasting it just enhances the flavor of those spices. And once you're happy with it, after like a couple of seconds, add in your potatoes, which you've already peeled and lightly mashed, and then add in some peas as well. If you're using fresh peas and not frozen, just make sure to boil it in some water for 5 to 6 minutes until they become nice and soft. Now just give this all a good mix. You don't have to make sure the potatoes are completely mush. A bit of chunk here and there as a nice surprise when you bite into your samosa. As an optional step, some people also like coriander seeds, raisins, or cashews in their potato samosas. So if you want to use that, just add those ingredients along with the dry spices to lightly roast them as well. I personally don't like any of those in my samosa. Now once you've mixed it, season it with salt, just taste it, make sure you like it, make sure all the flavors are pronounced, and then set that aside in a bowl or a plate to completely cool down. And while that's happening, let's work on our dough. So you want to measure your flour in a large bowl, add in your ajwain or carom seeds, and then add in all of your ghee. You want to mix this with your hands and just dry knead it until the ghee, the oil, is mixed really well together with that flour. A good indicator is when you clump the flour and the ghee together and let go, it's gonna form a dry dough. It's gonna like kind of clump together, and that's the perfect point for you to start adding some water and then knead this into a dough. The dough should not be too soft, but it should have a nice smooth finish, and you really don't have to knead this for too long. You don't need that gluten to develop because we want to keep it nice and crispy. So then just cover this with a damp piece of kitchen towel or paper towel and just let that sit and relax for 25 to 40 minutes. Now let's talk about the deep frying process. So you really want to make sure that the oil is at the right temperature and your frying technique is right. Otherwise, after all that effort to prepare the perfectly shaped samosas, it's all gonna be a waste. So you want to make sure the oil is not too hot. I usually cook it on medium heat, and I may have to toggle it down or toggle it up as needed. So you need to know what to look for while you're cooking your samosas. And the reason for that is if you fry samosas in oil that is too hot, it's gonna want to puff up. The flour, the dough is gonna wanna puff up, and you'll have these bubbles all around the samosa, which is not how you really want your samosa to be, because guess what? Once you take it out, those bubbles will pop, flake out, and if you fry it too quickly, the outside will be golden brown, but the inside will be raw. You also don't want to fry it at a temperature that is too low, because then it's going to absorb too much oil and it's going to be a really greasy samosa and may not be the best experience. So while we were talking, everything has cooled down, everything has rested. So now let's start shaping up our samosas. So get a large golf ball sized portion of dough, then flatten that into a thin disc. You want to make sure it's nice and even. Then cut that down the middle and then apply some water on the straight edge and on the round edges as well. Take the straight edge and bring it straight down in half while folding it to make a seal with the wetness that you just created with the other side of the straight edge. Press that to make sure it is nice and secured, and then pick it up and you have a cone. Then put a generous amount of stuffing, 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of the potato into the samosa, and then start sealing the round edge. A lot of times you'll see samosas standing by themselves. To do that, you just have to pinch and fold onto itself the center part of that round edge as you are sealing it. It's pretty easy and you'll get the hang of it the more you do it. Now do the same with the remaining portions depending on how much dough or stuffing you have left. Now my oil is here and it is heating on medium heat or right above medium high. There should not be any smoke coming out of the oil, and just for your peace of mind, try making a tester. So make a mini samosa, fry it, and cook as if you're making the real thing, right? And if the outside does not get completely bubbled up, and if you've cooked it all the way and you've tasted it and the inside is not raw, you did it. Should be golden brown, nice and perfect. So once you are comfortable and you know the process, start adding in your portions one at a time, carefully, always going away from you because you don't want that to splatter on your face. Depending on the wok you used or the vessel you used and the amount of oil, you might need to move the samosa from time to time just to make sure that one part of the samosa does not get too brown from the direct heat at the bottom. So just keep moving it, make sure it has nice and even color, and after a couple of minutes you'll have these babies floating in your oil, perfectly golden brown. And once I take it out, you'll see how crispy they really are. Dussehra and Diwali are right here, so this is the perfect opportunity to have a variety of fun snacks and treats to have, just like the paneer samosa from last week and this potato one today. I'm also going to show you how to make it in the air fryer with a delicious chicken mince samosa, chicken keema samosa. So be sure to be subscribed, hit the bell icon and hit all notifications to make sure you don't miss out on that video. I'm sure depending on your mood, you might want to make it in the air fryer, go baked, or make it deep fried. The full recipe will be available online on my website. I'll put that down below for more tips, tricks, and questions on how to reheat it. How do I reheat it in the microwave? How do I reheat it in the air fryer? Everything will be answered. And for more videos just like this one, be sure to hit subscribe. Hit the bell icon and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.